The alarm came without warning. It screamed through the halls of the border station like a wounded animal. Officers ran to their posts. Screens flashed red. Something had crossed into their space. Admiral stood at the center of the command room. He was tall with gray skin and eyes that had seen 1,000 battles. For 30 years, he had protected the Empire's borders. Nothing surprised him anymore, or so he thought. "Report," he said. His voice was calm. A young officer looked up from his screen. His hands were shaking. "Sir, an unknown vessel has entered restricted space. It came through the dead zone. No ship has ever survived that route." Walked closer to the main display. The dead zone was a region of collapsed stars and radiation storms. The Empire used it as a natural barrier. No fleet could pass through it. The radiation would destroy any ship within hours. Yet here was a ship. It moved slowly through their space like it had all the time in the world. "Show me," ordered. The screen changed, saw the vessel for the first time. It was unlike anything in the Empire's records. The ship was long and dark, built like a blade cutting through water. Strange symbols marked its hull. The design was brutal and simple. This was not a ship built for beauty. This was a ship built for one purpose: war. "What species?" asked. "Unknown, sir. The ship matches no known design. We are attempting to translate the markings on the hull." Studied the vessel. He had fought pirates, rebels, and alien fleets. He had never felt fear. But something about this ship made his stomach tight. It moved with confidence. It did not try to hide. It did not run. It simply came forward as if daring anyone to stop it. "Open a channel," commanded. "Demand identification." The communication officer worked quickly. Static filled the room. Then a voice came through. It spoke in a language no one recognized. The translation system struggled for a moment before the words became clear. "This is the HSS Indomitable. We are here to retrieve our people." Silence fell over the command room. Felt every eye turn to him. HSS. He did not know what those letters meant, but he understood the message. This ship had come for something, and it would not leave without it. "Identify your species and origin," replied. "You have entered space without permission. This is an act of aggression." The voice came again. It was calm, almost tired. "We are human. Our origin is Earth. 3 years ago, you took a research vessel from our territory. 12 of our people were aboard. We want them back." Remembered the incident. A small ship had been found drifting near the border. The Empire had claimed it as salvage. The crew had been taken for questioning. They were still alive, held in a prison station deep in territory. No one had expected anyone to come looking for them. The species had seemed primitive, weak, not worth the Empire's attention. Now a warship sat in his space, demanding their return. "Your people violated our borders," said carefully. "They are prisoners of the Empire. You have no authority here. Turn back now, or you will be destroyed." There was a pause. When the human voice returned, it carried something new, not anger, something worse: certainty. "We did not come to argue. We came to bring our people home. You can give them to us, or we can take them. The choice is yours." Ended the transmission. He turned to his tactical officer. "Dispatch 3 patrol cruisers. Disable that ship. I want its crew alive for questioning." The order went out. Within minutes, 3 cruisers moved to intercept the human vessel. They were fast ships, armed with plasma cannons that could cut through any known armor. Each cruiser had destroyed dozens of enemy vessels. Together, they were unstoppable. Watched the engagement on his screen. The cruisers surrounded the human ship. They ordered it to surrender. The human vessel did not respond. It did not change course. It simply kept moving forward. The lead cruiser opened fire. Blue plasma streaked across space. The shots hit the human ship directly. Expected to see explosions. He expected to see the vessel break apart. Instead, he saw something impossible. The human ship's shields absorbed the attack. They glowed bright for a moment, then faded. The vessel continued forward without slowing down. Not a single mark appeared on its hull. "Fire again," the cruiser captain ordered. His voice carried panic. All three ships fired together. Plasma cannons, energy torpedoes, kinetic rounds, everything they had. The human ship vanished behind a wall of fire and light. When the smoke cleared, the HSS Indomitable remained, undamaged, unharmed, still moving forward. Felt his blood turn cold. This was not possible. Those weapons could destroy a battle station. They could crack a small moon, yet this single ship had taken everything and shrugged it off like rain. The human vessel finally stopped. It turned slowly until its bow faced the three cruisers. Saw weapon ports open along its hull. He counted 12, then 20, then more than he could track. "All ships retreat," the cruiser captain screamed. The human ship did not fire. It simply waited. The three cruisers turned and fled back toward the border station. They moved faster than had ever seen them move. The human vessel watched them go. Then a new transmission came through. It was broadcast on all frequencies. Every ship in the sector heard it. Every station. Every listening post. The human captain spoke, and his words would spread across the Empire within hours. "My name is Captain Park of the HSS Indomitable. I command this vessel on behalf of the United Earth Fleet. We did not come to start a war. We came to bring our people home. Your ships attacked us without cause. We did not return fire. Consider this a gesture of good faith." The transmission continued. Captain's voice remained steady. "We know where our people are being held. We are coming to get them. Any ship that stands in our way will be removed. Any station that fires upon us will be silenced. But we take no pleasure in destruction. We offer you a simple choice. Return our people peacefully, and we will leave your space without further incident. Refuse, and you will learn why humanity should never be underestimated." The message ended. Static filled the command room. Stood frozen. Around him, his officers looked at each other with wide eyes. The Empire had ruled this galaxy for 3,000 years. No species had ever spoken to them this way. No species had ever dared. Now a single ship from a primitive world sat in their territory, promising consequences they could not imagine. Reached for his communicator. He needed to contact High Chancellor Morrows immediately. The Empire faced something new, something dangerous, and for the first time in his long career, Admiral did not know if they could win. The human ship began to move again. It headed deeper into space, toward the heart of the Empire. It moved slowly, deliberately, giving everyone time to see it coming. Time to prepare. Time to be afraid. Captain Park stood on the bridge of the Indomitable. His crew worked quietly around him. They had trained for this moment for years. They knew what was at stake. Behind them lay Earth. Ahead lay an empire that had never known defeat. The galaxy was about to change forever. The news spread like fire through dry grass. Within hours, every corner of the Empire knew about the human ship. Communication networks overflowed with reports. Military channels buzzed with panic. Citizens gathered in public squares to watch news feeds. For the first time in living memory, the Empire faced something it could not control. High Chancellor Morrows sat in his throne room on the capital world. He was old, even by standards. His gray skin had turned almost white with age, but his mind remained sharp. He had ruled the Empire for 200 years. He had survived wars, rebellions, and political plots. He had never faced anything like this. "Show me again," he commanded. The recording played on the massive screen before him. 3 cruisers fired upon the human vessel. Their weapons struck true. The ship absorbed every shot. Then it turned, revealing rows of weapons that made the cruiser captains flee in terror. Morrows watched in silence. When the recording ended, he turned to the council members gathered around him. "Explain this," he said simply. Admiral stepped forward. He had traveled from the border station to deliver his report in person. His face showed the strain of the past day. Sleep had been impossible. High Chancellor, the human vessel possesses technology we have never encountered. Our weapons did not penetrate its shields. Our sensors cannot fully scan its interior. We believe their power source operates on principles unknown to our science. Unknown, Morrows repeated. The Empire has studied every species in this galaxy. We have conquered civilizations with technology far beyond these humans. How can a primitive species from a single planet possess weapons we cannot match? A scientist stepped forward. His name was, and he led the Empire's research division. His hands trembled as he held his data tablet. High Chancellor, we have analyzed everything we could detect from the human ship. What we found is troubling. Speak, Morrows ordered. Activated his display. Images and data filled the air above the council table. Human technology follows a different path than our own. The Empire developed technology for efficiency and control. We build things to last. We build things to work well. But humans, he paused, searching for words. Humans develop technology for survival, for conflict. Every system on that ship is designed to kill or to prevent being killed. He pointed to a diagram of the human vessel. Their reactor burns hotter than any we have built. It is dangerous. It could explode if damaged, but it produces more power than our largest stations. Their hull is made from metals we have never synthesized. Dense, heavy, almost impossible to penetrate. Their weapons. He stopped and took a breath. Their weapons are designed to destroy things. Not disable, not capture, destroy completely. Morrows leaned back in his throne. You are telling me that humans built their ship expecting to fight, expecting to kill? Yes, High Chancellor. Our analysis suggests that humanity evolved as predators on their world. They competed with other species for survival. They fought among themselves for resources. They developed technology not for exploration or comfort but for war. They are a species forged in conflict. Silence fell over the council. The Empire had conquered dozens of species. Most had surrendered without a fight. Those who resisted had been crushed easily. The Empire had grown lazy, comfortable in its power. They had forgotten what it meant to face a true enemy. What do they want? Morrows asked. Answered, they want their people back. 12 researchers we captured 3 years ago. They are held at station in the inner territories. Then give them back, a council member suggested. Avoid conflict. Let them take their people and leave. Another council member slammed his fist on the table. We cannot. If we bend to the demands of a single ship, we show weakness. Every conquered species will see it. They will think the Empire can be challenged. We must destroy this ship and its crew. Send a message that cannot be ignored. The debate erupted. Council members shouted at each other. Some demanded war. Others called for peace. Morrows let them argue for several minutes before raising his hand. Silence returned instantly. Admiral Morrows said, "Can we destroy this ship?" Hesitated. It was a long hesitation. I do not know, High Chancellor, with enough ships perhaps, but the cost would be high, very high. How many ships? If our weapons truly cannot penetrate their shields, we may need to overwhelm them, surround them, attack from all sides at once. I would recommend no fewer than 40 warships. 40 ships. The number hung in the air. The Empire had never needed 40 ships to defeat a single vessel. Such a fleet could conquer an entire star system. Morrows made his decision. Assemble the fleet, 40 of our best warships. Intercept the human vessel before it reaches station. Destroy it if you can. Capture it if you cannot, but do not let it reach our prisoners. Bode, it will be done, High Chancellor. Far across space, the HSS Indomitable continued its journey. Captain Park stood at the center of the bridge. Around him, his crew worked with quiet efficiency. They had trained together for 5 years. They trusted each other completely. Commander approached him. She was his second in command, a woman with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. She had argued against this mission from the start, not because she lacked courage, but because she understood the risks. "Captain," she said, "communications are going crazy. They are calling ships from across the sector. I count at least 30 vessels moving to intercept us." Nodded slowly. "Expected." Expected kept her voice low so the crew would not hear. "Sir, we knew this would be dangerous, but 30 ships, maybe more. We are good, but we are not invincible." "I know," turned to face her. His expression was calm. "Commander, do you know why Earth Command sent the Indomitable? Why they sent us?" "Because we are the best ship in the fleet." No, shook his head. Because humanity needed to make a statement. For decades, we watched the galaxy from our little corner of space. We saw the Empire conquer and enslave. We saw them take whatever they wanted. We stayed quiet. We hoped they would not notice us. His jaw tightened. Then they took our people, 12 scientists who just wanted to study the stars. The Empire grabbed them like they were nothing, like we were nothing. He walked to the main window. Stars stretched endlessly before him. This mission is not just about rescue. It is about showing the galaxy that humanity will not be treated like prey. We will not hide. We will not beg. If someone takes our people, we come for them. If someone attacks us, we fight back. The Indomitable is more than a ship, Commander. It is a message. Stood beside him. And what is that message? That humanity is here, and we are not afraid. Lieutenant interrupted from his station. He was young, eager, and handled the ship's weapons with an artist's touch. "Captain, I have completed my analysis. The fleet will intercept us in approximately 8 hours. They are bringing heavy firepower." "Can we fight them?" asked. Grinned. "Sir, they have never seen what this ship can do. I almost feel sorry for them." Dr. Lee Sara looked up from her medical station. She was older than the others, with gentle eyes and steady hands. "The prisoners at station are still alive. I intercepted medical reports. They are weak but stable. We need to reach them soon." Chief Engineer Wu called from the engine room through the communication system. His voice was rough from years of working with machines. "Captain, engines are running at full capacity. I can give you more power if needed, but I would not recommend it unless absolutely necessary." Smiled slightly. "Save it for the fight, Chief." He returned to his command chair and sat down. The bridge hummed with activity. Every crew member knew their role. They had prepared for this moment their entire careers. "Set course for station," ordered. "Maintain current speed. Let them see us coming." Raised an eyebrow. "You want them to intercept us?" "I want them to understand that we are not running, we are not hiding, we are coming straight for them and nothing will stop us." He pressed a button on his chair. "All hands, this is the captain. In 8 hours we will face a battle fleet. They will try to destroy us. They will fail. Stay focused. Trust your training, trust each other. We are bringing our people home." He closed the channel and leaned back. Somewhere ahead, 40 warships gathered to stop them. The largest fleet assembled in decades, all for one human ship. Captain Park looked at the stars and waited. The real fight was about to begin. The fleet waited in the darkness of space. 40 warships hung in perfect formation, their weapons charged and ready. At the center of the formation sat the Eternal Throne, Admiral's flagship. It was the largest vessel in the fleet, covered in golden symbols of the Empire. For centuries, it had led forces to victory. Today would be no different. Or so told himself. He stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display. The human ship appeared as a small blue dot, moving steadily toward them. It had not changed course. It had not slowed down. It came straight at 40 warships like they were nothing more than rocks in its path. "The human vessel will reach our position in 20 minutes, his tactical officer reported. Nodded. "All ships prepare for engagement. Remember your orders. We surround them first. Cut off all escape routes. Then we fire together. No single ship can survive an attack from all directions at once. The other captains acknowledged his command. Their voices carried confidence, 40 against 1. The numbers were overwhelming. Victory seemed certain. But could not forget the recording. 3 cruisers had fired everything they had at the human ship. It had not even slowed down. "Admiral," his communication officer called. "The human ship is hailing us." Straightened his uniform, put them through. The screen flickered. A human face appeared. Saw a man with dark hair and calm eyes. He wore a simple uniform without decorations. His expression showed no fear, no anger, only patience. "Admiral," the human said, "I am Captain Park of the HSS Indomitable. I know why you are here. I understand your orders. Before we begin, I want to give you a choice." His jaw tightened. "You are in no position to offer choices, human. You are surrounded by the finest fleet in the Empire. Surrender now, and your crew will be treated fairly." Shook his head slowly. "Admiral, I have studied your empire. I know how you treat prisoners. I know what happened to our researchers. Your idea of fair treatment and mine are very different." "Then you will be destroyed," replied. "Perhaps," leaned forward slightly. "But I do not think so. Admiral, your ships are impressive. Your crews are well trained, but you have never fought humans before. You do not know what we can do. I am offering you a chance to learn without losing your fleet." "Explain." Pointed off screen. "There is an asteroid field nearby. Dense rock, mostly iron and nickel. I am going to fire one shot from my main cannon at that field, just one. After you see what it does, I want you to ask yourself a question. Do you really want to fight us?" Almost laughed. "You think a demonstration will frighten us? We have destroyed entire civilizations, human. One shot means nothing." "Then you have nothing to lose by watching." His expression did not change. "Give me 30 seconds, Admiral. If you still want to fight after that, I will not stop you." Against his better judgment nodded. "Very well, show me your weapon." The screen split to show a view of the asteroid field. Watched as the human ship turned slightly. A port opened along its bow. Light began to build inside, growing brighter every second. The energy readings on its display climbed higher and higher until they passed any measurement the sensors could track. Then the Indomitable fired. A beam of pure white light crossed the void. It struck the largest asteroid in the field, a rock the size of a small moon. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then the asteroid exploded. Not cracked, not damaged, exploded. The entire mass turned to dust in an instant. The shockwave spread outward, destroying smaller asteroids for thousands of kilometers in every direction. When the light faded, nothing remained but drifting particles and silence. Stared at the empty space where the asteroid had been. His hands gripped the railing until his knuckles turned white. Around him, his bridge crew sat frozen in horror. "One shot," said quietly. "That is what my ship can do. Now multiply that by the 12 main cannons we carry. Add our secondary batteries, our missile systems, our close-range weapons." He paused. "Admiral, I did not come here to destroy your fleet. I came to rescue my people. But if you force me to fight, I will defend my ship and my crew with everything I have." Found his voice. "What do you want?" "Let me pass. Let me reach station. Let me take my people. Then I will leave your space and never return. No more fighting, no more death, just let us go home." The offer hung in the air. Felt the eyes of his bridge crew watching him. He felt the weight of the Empire's expectations pressing down on his shoulders. High Chancellor Morrows had given clear orders. Stop the human ship. Destroy it if necessary. But Morrows had not seen what just saw. "I cannot," said finally. "My orders come from the High Chancellor himself. I must stop you." His expression shifted to something like sadness. "I understand. You are a soldier following orders. I respect that." He straightened in his chair. "But I am also a soldier, Admiral, and my orders are to bring my people home, whatever the cost." The transmission ended. The screen went dark. Turned to his fleet. 40 ships waited for his command. Brave crews ready to fight and die for the Empire. He thought about the asteroid. He thought about that terrible white light. All ships, he said slowly. Execute attack pattern, surround the target, fire on my command. The fleet moved. Ships spread out in a perfect sphere around the human vessel. They moved with practiced precision, blocking every possible escape route. The Indomitable sat at the center, alone and still. The trap is set, the tactical officer reported. All weapons locked on target. Took a deep breath, fire. Every ship fired at once. Plasma beams, energy torpedoes, kinetic rounds, everything the fleet could throw. The space around the human ship filled with destruction. Light and fire surrounded the Indomitable completely. Watched, he waited for the explosion. He waited for the human ship to break apart like every other enemy the Empire had faced. The barrage lasted 30 seconds. When it ended, the fleet held its fire, waiting for the smoke to clear. The HSS Indomitable emerged from the fire undamaged. Its shields flickered slightly, then stabilized. The ship began to move, heading directly toward station. Impossible, someone whispered. Felt something cold settle in his chest. Fear, real fear for the first time in decades. Continue firing, he ordered. All ships maintain attack. The fleet obeyed. More weapons fire poured toward the human vessel, but now the Indomitable was firing back. A single beam struck the cruiser on the fleet's left flank. The ship's shields collapsed instantly. A second shot tore through its hull. The cruiser exploded in a ball of flame, killing everyone aboard in less than 5 seconds. Another shot, another ship destroyed. Then another. Captain's voice came through on all channels. Admiral, I am only targeting ships that fire upon me. Order your fleet to stand down and no more will die. But the captains were panicking now. They fired wildly, desperately trying to stop the unstoppable. Each time a ship fired, the Indomitable responded. Each response meant another ship lost. 12 ships burned in the void, then 15, then 20. Watched his fleet die around him. He thought about his orders. He thought about his duty. He thought about the crews who would never go home. All ships, he said quietly, cease fire, fall back. The order spread through the fleet. One by one, the surviving ships stopped shooting. They pulled away from the human vessel, limping toward safety. Some were damaged. Some carried hundreds of wounded, but they were alive. The Indomitable did not pursue. It simply continued toward station, leaving the broken fleet behind. Stood alone on his bridge. The Eternal Throne had taken no damage. He had watched from safety while his fleet was torn apart. Now he had to contact High Chancellor Morrows and explain how one ship had defeated 40. He had no idea what to say. Station hung in orbit around a dead world. It was a prison station, built to hold enemies of the Empire. Thick metal walls surrounded cells designed to break the will of any prisoner. No one had ever escaped from. No one had ever been rescued. Warden stood in his control room, watching the approaching human ship on his screen. He had received reports from Admiral's fleet. He knew what had happened. 20 ships destroyed, the rest fleeing, all because of one vessel. But was not afraid. His station had its own defenses. Heavy guns lined the outer hull. Shield generators protected every section. And most importantly, he held something the humans wanted: leverage. Contact the human ship, he ordered. His communication officer obeyed. Moments later, Captain Park appeared on the screen. He looked exactly as the reports described: calm, patient, dangerous. I am Warden, they said. You have caused quite a lot of trouble, human. I am here for my people, replied. Release them to me, and I will leave without harming your station. Laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. You think I am afraid of you. Yes, your ship is impressive, but you cannot destroy this station without killing the prisoners inside, and you will not risk their lives. You seem very sure of that. I am, leaned forward. Here is what will happen. You will power down your weapons and surrender. Your crew will be taken into custody. Perhaps if you cooperate, I will let your researchers live. Perhaps not. Either way, you have lost. Did not respond immediately. He seemed to be thinking, considering his options. When he spoke again, his voice was very quiet. Warden, let me explain something to you. I have traveled across the galaxy to reach this station. I have faced your fleet and won. I have done everything possible to avoid unnecessary death, but my patience has limits. Threats do not frighten me, said. I am not threatening you, I am making a promise. Eyes hardened. In 10 minutes, my crew will board your station. We will find our people. We will take them back. Anyone who tries to stop us will be removed. That is not a threat, Warden. That is simply what is going to happen. Cut the transmission. He turned to his security chief. Prepare all guards. The humans are coming. On the Indomitable, Commander checked her weapon for the 3rd time. She wore full combat armor, a suit of powered metal that made her faster and stronger than any unarmored soldier. Her team stood behind her, 20 of humanity's finest fighters, ready for battle. Remember, she told them, the prisoners are our priority. Avoid unnecessary casualties if possible, but protect yourselves first. The will not show mercy. Lieutenant approached. He would be staying on the ship, manning the weapons in case the station tried anything. Commander, be careful in there. We did not come all this way to lose anyone now. Smiled slightly. I plan to bring everyone home, Lieutenant, everyone. Captain's voice came through the communication system. Boarding team, you have a green light. Good luck. The shuttle launched from the Indomitable. It crossed the distance to station in minutes, avoiding the station's defensive fire with ease. Human pilots had trained for years to fly through worse. The shuttle attached to an airlock on the station's lower level. Blew the door open. The first guards were waiting inside. They raised their weapons. They never had a chance to fire. Human soldiers moved through them like water through sand. Powered armor deflected energy blasts. Human weapons dropped before they could react. Move, commanded. Detention level is 3 floors up. Stay together. The team pushed forward. More guards appeared. More guards fell. The humans did not stop. They did not slow down. They moved through the station like a force of nature, unstoppable and relentless. Warden watched from his control room. His hands shook as he saw guard after guard go down. The humans were not just skilled. They were something else, something terrible. Seal the detention level, he screamed. Trap them. Blast doors closed throughout the station. Heavy metal barriers dropped to block the human advance. For a moment, thought he had won. Then the humans cut through the doors. They used tools had never seen. Plasma cutters that sliced through reinforced steel like paper. They did not even slow down. Each barrier took them 30 seconds to remove. Then they kept moving. Reached the detention level first. The corridor stretched before her, lined with cells on both sides. Prisoners watched from behind bars, their eyes wide with confusion. These were criminals, political prisoners, enemies of the Empire. They had never seen anything like this. Spread out, ordered, find the humans. Her team moved down the corridor, checking each cell. Most held. A few held other species, races did not recognize. She made note of them but did not stop. Her mission was clear. Commander, a soldier called, found them. Ran to the cell. Inside, she saw 12 humans. They were thin, their clothes worn and dirty. Their eyes held the look of people who had given up hope long ago. 3 years in this place had broken something inside them. Then they saw the soldiers in human armor. They saw the flag on shoulder, the flag of Earth. A woman in the cell fell to her knees. Tears ran down her face. You came, she whispered. You actually came for us. Cut the lock and opened the cell. We never stopped looking. Come on, we are taking you home. Dr. Lee Sara appeared with a medical team. She began checking the prisoners immediately, treating injuries, giving water and food. "They are weak but stable," she reported. "We need to get them to the ship quickly." "Agreed," said. "All teams fall back to the shuttle. We have our people." The retreat was faster than the advance. The humans moved through the station, carrying those too weak to walk. Guards appeared but did not engage. They had seen what happened to their comrades. They stepped aside and let the humans pass. Warden watched them go. He stood alone in his control room, surrounded by screens showing empty corridors and fallen guards. His station had been invaded. His prisoners had been taken, and he had been powerless to stop any of it. His communication system beeped, a new transmission from the human ship. "Warden," Captain said, "my people are safe. We are leaving now. I suggest you think carefully about what happened here today. The empire you serve is not as strong as you believed. Perhaps it is time to consider new loyalties." The transmission ended. The human shuttle returned to the Indomitable. The rescued prisoners were taken directly to the medical bay, where Dr. Sara and her team began proper treatment. Commander reported to the bridge, still wearing her armor. "Mission complete," she said. "All 12 researchers recovered. No human casualties, minimal enemy casualties." Captain nodded slowly. "Well done, Commander. Well done to everyone." The bridge crew allowed themselves a moment of celebration. They had done it. They had crossed the galaxy, faced an entire empire, and rescued their people. But knew the mission was not over yet. The fleet was still out there. High Chancellor Morrows would not let this insult go unanswered. They still had to make it home. "Set course for human space," he ordered. "Maximum speed." The HSS Indomitable turned away from station. Its engines powered up, and it began the long journey home. Behind them, the Empire watched in stunned silence. A single ship had challenged their authority. A single ship had won. The galaxy would never be the same. The journey home was quiet. The HSS Indomitable moved through space without interference. No ships appeared to challenge them. No weapons fire lit up the void. It seemed the Empire had decided to let them go. Captain Park stood at the window of his quarters watching the stars pass by. He had not slept in 3 days. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the battle. He saw ships exploding. He saw the fear in Admiral's eyes. A knock came at his door. Commander entered without waiting for permission. She had earned that right. "The prisoners are recovering," she reported. "Dr. Sara says most of them will be ready for duty within a few weeks, physically at least. The mental wounds will take longer." Nodded. 3 years in that place. I cannot imagine what they went through. Sat down across from him. "The lead researcher wants to speak with you. Her name is. She was the commander of the original mission." "I will see her tomorrow. Let her rest tonight." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, then spoke again. "What happens now? We rescued our people. We showed the galaxy that humans can fight, but we also made a very powerful enemy." Turn to face her. The Empire has 2 choices. They can accept what happened and leave humanity alone, or they can come for revenge and learn that we have more ships like the Indomitable. "Do we have more ships like this one?" "We will. Earth Command has been building a fleet in secret for decades. The Indomitable was the first. There will be others, bigger, stronger. Humanity is done hiding." Far away on the capital world, High Chancellor Morrows addressed his council for the 2nd time in a week. This time, the mood was different. The anger and fear had been replaced by something colder: calculation. "We have received reports from across the Empire," Morrows said. "News of the human ship has spread to every sector. Our subject races are watching. They are waiting to see how we respond." Admiral stood at the edge of the chamber. He had not been punished for the fleet's defeat. Morrows needed experienced commanders, and there were few who had actually faced humans in battle. What response does the Council recommend? Morrows asked. A military commander stepped forward. High Chancellor, we must strike back. Send 100 ships to human space. Burn their worlds. Show the galaxy that the Empire does not tolerate defiance. Murmurs of approval spread through the chamber, but Morrows raised his hand for silence. And if we send 100 ships and they are destroyed? He asked. We do not know how many vessels like the indomitable humans possess. We do not know the full extent of their capabilities. A failed attack would weaken us further. The scientist spoke up. High Chancellor, our research teams have continued analyzing the human ship's technology. The power readings we detected suggest their weapons could destroy our largest battle stations, if they have even a small fleet of such vessels. Then open war would be catastrophic, Morrows finished. For both sides perhaps, but certainly for us. He stood from his throne and walked to the great window overlooking the capital city. Millions have lived below, trusting their empire to protect them. For 3,000 years, that trust had been justified. There is another option, Morrows said slowly, one we have never considered before. The council waited. Peace. The word hung in the air like something strange and foreign. We reach out to the humans. We acknowledge their strength. We negotiate a treaty that allows both species to exist without conflict. Shock rippled through the chamber. The Empire did not negotiate. The Empire conquered. The Empire demanded. To offer peace to a primitive species was unthinkable. High Chancellor said carefully, such an action would change everything. The other races we rule would see it as weakness. Or they would see it as wisdom. Morrows turned back to face his council. The humans taught us something valuable. We are not invincible. We have believed our own legend for too long. Perhaps it is time to remember that strength comes in many forms. He made his decision. We will send a diplomatic mission to human space. Admiral, you will lead it. You have faced these humans. You understand them better than anyone. Bowed his head. I will do as you command, High Chancellor. Across the galaxy, other species watched and waited. The news had reached every corner of known space. A single human ship had challenged the Empire. A single ship had won. On a dozen worlds, conquered races whispered in secret. If humans could stand against the Empire, perhaps others could too. Perhaps the time for submission was ending. Perhaps a new age was beginning. The HSS Indomitable entered human space 3 days later. As it crossed the border, a fleet of human ships rose to meet it, not to fight, to welcome. Captain watched the escort form around his vessel. 12 ships, each one built in secret over decades of work, each one as powerful as the Indomitable. Humanity's hidden strength finally revealed. Captain, Lieutenant said, Earth Command is hailing us. They want to speak with you directly. Put them through. An older woman appeared on the screen. Admiral Song Myra, commander of Earth's fleet. Her face showed pride and relief. Captain, she said, you have done something extraordinary. The whole world is watching. When you land, there will be ceremonies, speeches, politicians wanting to shake your hand. But first, I want to tell you personally, thank you for bringing our people home. Felt something loosen in his chest. The mission was over. They had succeeded. Admiral, I was just doing my duty. The credit belongs to my crew. They are the finest sailors in the fleet. They will all be recognized, I promise. Admiral Song paused. I should also tell you, we have received a message from the Empire. They want to talk. They are sending a diplomatic ship to negotiate peace. Raised his eyebrows. Peace, the Empire. It seems your actions made quite an impression. They have never offered peace to anyone before. You changed something fundamental. The transmission ended. Sat back in his chair, processing the news. Peace. After all the fighting, all the fear, perhaps there would be peace. Commander approached. I heard they want to negotiate. Apparently. Do you think they are sincere? considered the question. I think Admiral is an honorable man. I think High Chancellor Moros is pragmatic. They saw what we could do. They decided fighting us was not worth the cost. He smiled slightly. Whether the peace lasts, that depends on both sides. The Indomitable landed on Earth 2 days later. The rescued researchers stepped onto their home planet for the first time in 3 years. Their families were waiting. The reunions were filled with tears and laughter and relief that words. The lead researcher finally met with Captain. She was still thin, still recovering, but her eyes held fire again. "Captain," she said, "I want to thank you for everything. We had given up hope. We thought we would die in that place." "Humanity does not abandon its own," replied. "We would have crossed the galaxy 100 times to bring you home." Smiled, "I know that now. The whole galaxy knows it." 3 months later, the first official meeting between humans and took place on a neutral station. Admiral led the delegation. Captain served as military advisor to the human team. The negotiations were difficult. Both sides had pride. Both sides had demands. But slowly, carefully, they built something new, a treaty, an agreement between equals. When the signing was complete, approached privately. "Captain," they said, "I have thought about our encounter many times. You showed mercy when you could have destroyed my fleet. You let my people rescue their wounded. You did not have to do that." "No," agreed. "But being strong does not mean being cruel. Humanity has learned many hard lessons about war. We fight when we must, but we also know when to stop." Extended his hand in the human gesture of friendship, took it. "Perhaps," said, "we can learn from each other." 1 year later, Captain Park stood on the bridge of a new ship. The HSS Horizon was bigger than the Indomitable, built for exploration rather than war. Its mission was to chart unknown space, to find new worlds, to meet new species. Commander stood beside him just as she always had. The old crew had volunteered to stay together. They had become family. "Ready, Captain?" she asked. Looked at the stars ahead. A year ago, humanity had been a small species hiding at the edge of the galaxy. Now they stood as equals among the great powers. They had earned their place through courage, sacrifice, and mercy. "Ready," he said. "Let's see what's out there." The Horizon powered up its engines and leaped into the unknown. Behind them, Earth continued to grow stronger. The treaty held firm. Peace spread across a galaxy that had known only conquest for. All because one ship refused to back down. All because one crew came to bring their people home. Humanity had announced itself to the universe, and the universe would never forget.